fellow book nerds. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul for you guys. Over the month of March, which I still cannot believe is almost over, I have collected quite a lot of books. I have gotten books for my university degree. I had a lot of money left over for my birthday and I decided why not spend it on books. So I went out and did that, and then I also got a pre-order of a book that I've been waiting for since November. That came out as well. That came out yesterday. I finished it today. Yeah, and then when I was there buying that one, I also bought one more because I just couldn't help myself. Yay! So stay tuned. These are the books that I bought or got delivered to my house. I paid for all of them though. Well, kind of. I didn't really pay for the ones that were my birthday presents technically, but I guess you could. I got 8 books for basically I only had to spend 20 of my own dollars. The rest was all birthday money, so I counted that as a win. Anyway, here we go, the books I bought in this month. Yay! I want to do this in order, so give me a minute. First up, I got Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. This one is for my university degree, for my English class. I have read it now, I've done an assignment on it, and I don't know how I did on that one because I didn't really like the book, so we'll wait and see. I finally got The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare with Sarah Rees Brennan and Maureen Johnson. So this is 10 short novellas put into one beautiful, beautiful copy with the beautiful Magnus Bane on the front with his cat eye. He is seriously, I've just recently gotten back into the Shadowhunter world with, the TV show Shadowhunters, and of course Lady Midnight and all the new books coming out, and so I hadn't read this one, I hadn't bought it. So I bought it. I still haven't read it yet, so it's on the list. It's on the list. I also got a book called 2312 by Kim Stanley Robinson. So I'm not really entirely sure what this one is about. The blurb says something about it's definitely a sci-fi novel, so it's set in the future. Humans are populating more than just Earth, and apparently humans have messed up Earth, which I think personally is sort of the way we're going, so I think this is going to be a really interesting read. I haven't really heard anything about this, so for me it was just I was in the bookstore when I was getting Bane Chronicles and Mrs. Dalloway, and I sort of went, what am I going to, I really want to get a different sort of book, and I found this one, and I thought that the cover and the concept was really, really interesting. I mean, look at that cover, is it not the most beautiful cover? It's got a tree. I like trees. So yeah, so I thought it was just going to be a really interesting and different read, so I bought it. And it's definitely on the list, although I'm not sure when I'm going to get to it because I have so much to read. Next up, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So this one I also got for my English class at university. I've been avoiding reading this book like the plague since year 12, which was 4 years ago, and it seems like it's caught up to me because now I'm forced to read it for my English class. I'm up to my big one. Yes! I really wish I could listen to music when I was filming, but then the music will be in the video and you'll be trying to edit it and put like a different video on top, and it'll be like, oh no. Okay, apparently my friend has read half of the book he started last night, and I'm like, I finished the book I started last night. The next book is called Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry. So this book is the sequel to The Giver. I read The Giver back in 2013, I believe, 2012? I'm not sure, it was a while back. So it was whenever the movie came out is the year that I read this book. Well, read The Giver, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very interesting world. It had, really compelling characters, and when I saw that there was a series of 4 books that are more sort of companion-y sort of novels, not really sequels, I got really excited, and this is one of the ones that I bought with the birthday money, so because it wasn't really my money, I was like, I'll buy all the books! So basically, I just bought a lot of sequels to books that I've been neglecting to buy. I just got a new bookcase, and I'm struggling with it. The next book, and another one that I got with the birthday money, is called First Life by Gina Showalter? I don't really know. Basically though, I saw the cover, which I thought was really, really cool. So it's an hourglass and it's got sort of a desolate, awful looking city up the top, and then this beautiful like utopian looking city down the bottom, and it said step 1 you die, and I saw it in the books and I went, that's interesting. That's an interesting concept. I want to read that book. And when I read the blurb and it was talking about how life is just a dress rehearsal for real life, which happens when you die, I sort of went, that's one I need to read. Definitely need to read it. So I picked it up, put it in my pile, which was like 8 books high by that stage, and went, I'm reading that. Oh yeah. Typically though, it looks like it's gonna be a series. I can't just pick up books anymore that are one-off. I always have to pick up series and I just don't have time to read all these books. Now I don't even know where it's gone. What was it? Oh my god. Close one. The next book that I bought, and another one that I got for my birthday money, was Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. So this cover is actually gorgeous, and it's actually the biggest book I think I've ever seen. It's like 700 and something or other. I don't know how many pages it is, but there's a hell of a lot of them. And I'm not going to read this one just yet for a couple of reasons. Number one is that I am still in uni, so I don't really have time to read a book that is that thick. But also because I still haven't read The Infernal Devices. My bad, shame tag. So I still haven't read Infernal Devices, so I kind of figured that I should probably read those first before I read Lady Midnight. And I also want to read the Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy books first, but I don't really like reading things on ebooks, so I'm going to wait until it comes out in print. However, I know full well that it's not coming out until like November, but I think I have plenty of books to keep me busy from now till then. So I will probably be reading Lady Midnight around December, which is awesome because I'm pretty sure the next book comes out in like April, so I will barely have to wait any time at all. Yay! The next book, and another one of my birthday books, is Zoo by James Patterson. I've never read any of his books, even though I know he's like a super famous, successful author, and I feel really bad for saying that I haven't read any of his books. But I've been watching the TV show for Zoo, and it is incredible. It's so good. I actually love the show so much, and I managed to get my friends hooked on it. So my friend and I are both going to read this book because we both love the show so much. But the thing is, Bay's not in the book. There's a character in the show, and we both love him, and he is our favourite, and he's not in the book. Grr. So that means that this book has been like pushed down my list. If he was in it, I'd be like, oh yeah, I have to read it. But he's not in it, so I'm like, I'll read it eventually, but not sure how high up the list it is right now because it's a fairly long list. So, oh dear me. Should not have gotten a new bookcase. The next book on the list, also a birthday book, is The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. So this is the sequel to The Fifth Wave. I read The Fifth Wave last year, I think, and I really loved it. I thought the concept of aliens was really interesting. I haven't really read a lot of sci-fi novels. I'm more of a fantasy girl. But Fifth Wave definitely sort of captured my attention, and I knew there was a movie coming out. So I didn't read Infinite Sea before I saw the film, and I'm really glad about that. So I still don't really know what happens after the first book, and I'm actually gonna wait to read this one until the end of May because that's when the last book in the series is coming out, and I figure why not read them both at once? So I'm not really telling you what most of these books are about because I basically just grabbed them and went, I'm reading that and that and that and that, and I didn't really look at what they were about, so I am just as clueless as the rest of you. Yet another birthday book is The Black Reckoning by John Stephens. So this book is the third book in the Books of Beginning series. I read the first book of Beginning, which was called The Emerald Atlas, and I fell in love with it. It's a series more for younger readers, so it's not really for young adults. It's more, I'd say it would be aimed at kids like 14-ish, 14 and younger. I read it when I was like 17, but I love kid books. It's a really good series, or at least I remember the first book being really good, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. It took me forever to get my hands on it, and when I did, this one's so much smaller than the others. I hate when they change the book cover and the book sizes. It's happened to me so many times, and now my bookcase is really uneven and it makes me angry. The next book on the list, and another birthday book, is 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. I have been looking at this book on and off for about the last year now in a bookstore. At least I think it's been a year. When did the book release? Yeah, 2014. I was like, see. So I've been looking at this book in the bookstore for approximately the last year now. I think the cover, look at that cover. That cover is absolutely beautiful, especially London. I'm obsessed with London. The cover really pulled me in, and when I read a bit about the blurb of the novel, it's sort of about this girl who finds that she can travel through 2 alternate dimensions thanks to an invention created by her parents. So I found that to be a really interesting concept, so this one is definitely on my list of things to read, and I'm pretty sure the other 2 books in the series are actually out already, so I don't even need to fret. Once I read this one, I can just read the next one and the next one, and I think that's it though. I think there's just the 3. Why do I think there's more? And the last of my birthday books is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. So this is another book that I've actually seen on BookTube a couple of times. A lot of people have been raving about it. They've said that it is incredible. It's a really good book. It's definitely worth the read. So when I saw it in the bookstore and I knew I had money, I just sort of went, yes please, that'll be a book that I'm going to read. So I'm really looking forward to the concept. I actually read this blurb to my mum, and she sort of went, yep, that sounds great, Jenna. Like, go for it. I'm like, whatever, it looks like a good book. I like the idea of different blood and rulers and commoners and crowns and blood and yeah. I don't know. I think it's definitely a high fantasy novel, and high fantasy is definitely where it's at. Again, for university, I got delivered to my house The Hours by Michael Cunningham. So this book is a, what's the word? Is a tribute. It's a tribute to Mrs. Dalloway, which I read earlier and I will never, ever, 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 ever read again. So this one is a story told of 3 different women. So this is kind of awkward, but someone just got home. I don't want to keep going. That's my daddy super early. Wait 1 second. No one's answering me. Hold the phone. It was Dad. He's home early. Anyway, so this book is set over 1 day, but over 3 different time periods. So I'm actually more interested to read this one than I was to read Mrs. Dalloway, mainly because it has chapters. Oh my God, if any of you have ever read Mrs. Dalloway, you will know that it doesn't have chapters, and it is the hardest book ever to read. This one has chapters, so I'm hopeful. Another book that I got for university is Othello by William Shakespeare. I love William Shakespeare. I think he was an incredible playwright. His plays are so awesome. So I'm really, really excited to read Othello. It's like the only book I'm super excited to read in my English class. The other ones I was like, oh yeah, you know, but Othello! Ah! And when I was at the bookstore yesterday getting the pre-ordered book, which I'm going to show you last because I just, so excited, I also bought Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. So this book is being made into a film, and I saw the trailer and I saw that Emilia Clarke, Sam Claflin, Jenna Coleman were in it, and I just kind of went, yeah, no, that's a film I probably need to see. So my friend and I are like ridiculously obsessed with Jenna Coleman, but don't tell anyone. Shh. This book is about a girl called Lou. I'm not really sure why, but somehow she ends up taking care of a man in a wheelchair, and it's about their love affair, and I think I'm gonna cry when I read this book. I just kind of get the feeling it's gonna be one of those sad reading books. I think new books smell. Always. And last but certainly not least, the book that I bought yesterday that I had on pre-order since November, and I was so excited to read that I finished it this morning even though I only started it last night, was Raelia by Lynette Noni. Yay! Raelia is the sequel to Akane, which is the second book in the Madoran Chronicles series. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to film a review for this one a bit later because I have so many emotions since finishing this book. So if you are bored and you want to pick up a book, pick up this one, but pick up Akane first. But definitely read this one. It was so good. And look at it. It's so beautiful. I mean, I got it yesterday and I was like, beautiful book. Beautiful book. Yay! There you have it, the 16 books that I bought in March. At least I hope it's 16, or else I just counted wrong and that's super awkward. I never was very good at maths. That's why I love reading. If you guys liked seeing me do this book haul, let me know in the comment section below and I will definitely do another one for you. Unfortunately, as much as I would love it to, not all of my months are going to have this many books in it. It just so happened that I had a lot of money left over for my birthday and I had to get some for uni, and Raelia was coming out, so I just happened to get a lot of them, you know. But I will definitely do a book haul for you guys. Even if I only buy a couple of books at a time. I might actually do a DVD haul for you guys at some point because I buy a lot of movies. Like, a lot of movies. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below if you guys have read any of the books that I've bought, or if you are wanting to read any of the books that I have bought. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a thing. Until then, stay random. Bye. Just like falling over. I'd hold up all the books at once, but I would drop them. It's like my favorite book. I just love it.